Hello, welcome to the Econobox garage. If you saw the last video, you'll see I've had some engine issues. So I've got the engine out, there's the block. I've got all the bits and pieces behind you on a trolley here. And while I'm waiting for parts, there's a few things I can do. I'm going to show you in this video how I polish the crank. And I'm going to take the opportunity to replace the master cylinder, which I've been meaning to do for quite some time. So let's get to work. Well, I'm going to do a bit of polishing on the crankshaft. So what I've done is I've made myself a little rack. This is cut out of like a long skinny strip of plywood that was about 3.5 feet long. So what I did is I cut a 6-inch piece, drilled a 2-inch hole in it, which is the diameter of the journals on this crank, and split that piece in half, and then I just mounted those with a couple of screws in the bottom on each side. That gives me a nice little stand that holds the crankshaft in place while I'm polishing the journals. There you can see how the crankshaft sits in here. I made sure the height of the uprights allowed the crankshaft to spin right around. You don't need a lot of clearance, so there's about 1/8 of an inch under there. Basically, that keeps these end pieces as short as possible while still allowing the crank to turn. One of the tasks I'm going to do while I've got the engine apart is I'm just going to clean up these crank journals a bit. I've already done the big ends for the connecting rods, and they've turned out really nice. There was a couple of, this one here was scored a little bit, but I've got that out, and I've double checked all my measurements, and we're still good to go with standard bearings. So next one I'm going to tackle is this center bearing here, or the center journal here. Now it's in pretty good shape, so this is more of just a cleanup and what have you. So what I've got, I have 3 strips of wet and dry sandpaper, 600, 1000, and 2000. And I have a shoelace, actually a hockey skate lace. They're nice and flat and wide. So essentially what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually trim these down to length a bit. I've cut these to the width of the bearing itself. That'll go around like that. So I can just rip that off a little bit there. I'm going to start with the 600. Goes aside. I'm just using some 3-in-1 oil to lubricate this. Spread it out across the whole piece of sandpaper. And I can wrap that around the journal. And then I can take my length of shoelace, wrap it around. Like so. So you can see how the sandpaper is turning there as I pull on the shoelaces. And with you can also see how the shoelace kind of walks across the width of the sandpaper. And that gives us some even pressure. Now there's not a lot to do on this as far as cleanup. There's no distinct scoring or anything like that. This is just a matter of cleaning things up. So I'll just do this for a minute or two. And usually I've got some music playing in the background when I'm doing this. So I usually do this each stage for about the length of a song. So about 3 minutes. As I mentioned, I've already done the rod journals, and they came out really good. So we'll just pull that out of there and grab a cloth. That's for a different one. We'll clean that up. And of course, once I've got all the journals done, I'll be cleaning up all these passages. I'll just get a nozzle on my brake clean and squirt that through, make sure everything's cleaned up. And so that's looking pretty good there. So I'll get the 1000. Again, just cut it to length. And oil it up. Get that around there. Now the main journals are, I've cut the sandpaper to 1 1/8 inches. And whereas with the raw journals, I cut those to 1 inch. And just repeat that again. Now this is with 1000. And just do it for a couple of minutes. And the nice thing about this little stand that I made is that I don't have to worry about the crank rolling around or rolling away on a flat bench, and it holds it level. There we go. Toss that one away. And we'll wipe that one down. Shoot it with some brake clean. Also, there is how I polish or do a cleanup or a basic polish on the crank journals. Well, after a couple hours total time, I'm really happy with how the crank has turned out. I've got all the main journals done, and I have all the rod journals done, and that's turned out quite nice. I just cut a couple of strips of microfiber cloth on the ends here to keep it all nice and clean. I'm going to give this a thorough clean. I'm going to shoot some brake clean down through all these little ports because these passages or potentially get clogged. So this one here that's been drilled all the way through to the other side of here. I'll spray those out to make sure there's no debris either from the polishing process or from any little metal bits that came off piston number 4. Now that I have the crank all polished up, I've double checked all my journals and they're all within spec, so I can go with standard bearings. So while I'm waiting for parts, there's still some other work that I'd like to get done on the car, and one that I mentioned quite a while ago in a previous video, and I'll put a link to that up above, is the master cylinder. The lid on it had warped considerably, which is allowing brake fluid to leak and come into the footwell. A temporary fix is I just made a thicker gasket and tightened it down, but it's now that everything's apart, and then I already have the clutch line disconnected to move the engine out. When I first did this, I bought the least expensive master cylinder put in, but I think that was a mistake, so I'm going to replace it with TRW, a brand name. The lid looks a lot more substantial. What I'm going to do now is remove the old master cylinder and put in the new one. So you'll notice there are 2 big bolt holes in the side of the master cylinder. but you can only see one of them from up top. The other one is accessed from underneath. So I think the easiest way to do this without having to crawl in underneath the footwell is just to undo all the bolts around the housing here and remove this as a unit. That way it just makes it a lot easier to access the other through bolt. And there's one other thing that'll be a lot easier with that out, and I can show you that once I get it out. So the first thing I'm going to do, disconnect the clutch line and the brake line. Not worried about getting air in the clutch line because it's already half drained out down there. But I've got a little rubber plug here that I'll cap the end of the brake line to reduce the chance of any air getting into that line. I'll still have to bleed, but it shouldn't be too bad. Now, one thing I have done is I've actually modified a spare 7/16 wrench that allows me to get down into these spots down here to make it easier to undo these nuts here. So that's what I'm going to use for that. It does work. So this just allows me to get access to these nuts down here, and I can just use a screwdriver or a short bar to turn that and get these loosened off. So I've loosened the two little clamps that hold the lines in here. That'll give me a bit of wiggle room to get these out of the way. So let's get back to disconnecting the lines from the master cylinder. Then I can undo all the bolts around here and take this out. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to reuse the gasket there. I don't think it should be too much of a problem. So I have all the little bolts pulled out from the perimeter. I used some foam earplugs to plug the two holes. Now it's just a matter of prying this up and maneuvering out of the hole, pedals intact. I'll just move this. Let's get that out of the way. I'll just move the high beam switch wire out of the way, and we're good to go. And hopefully, like as I said, I can do this without damaging the gasket. But there we go, that's that side. There. Okay, that's got it all loose. I just have to be careful I don't knock the carbs down. All right, now I'm going to lift this up and twist it so I can get it past the wiper motor and bring those pedals out. So let me just get that. Might be a little more challenging with everything in place. There we go. There. And I just lift that out. And there we've got the whole assembly out. So I'll just take that over to the bench and then we can get to work on it. One of the other reasons I wanted to get this thing out altogether, actually I'll just move this, let's get this out of the way. Yep. So one of the reasons I wanted to get this out completely is to make it easy to put the pedal pads on. Now the ones that I initially put on there got really kind of soggy because of the brake fluid was leaking down through here when the lid was leaking. So this will make it a lot easier to recover these, and I'll just give these a good clean up while I'm at it. And then you can see here, here's that other bolt that's would be a little awkward to get to underneath the instrument panel. So let's get everything taken apart and go from there. Okay, I've got everything hooked back up. I've got the 2 lines hooked up. I just have to put the little brackets back in. I'll get to that in a bit here. And I did do a bit of a bench bleed, and I'm sorry I didn't get that on video. Forgot to turn the camera on. But anyway, so everything's hooked back up. New master cylinder, new pedal pads. And then when I get putting things back together, I'll bleed the clutch. And I'm fairly confident that I've been able to get this without getting any air trapped in the line here. But I will check that, of course. And what I'll probably do is I will just bleed the brake at that cylinder over there, or that caliper over there, because that's the closest to here. So any air in the system, I should be able to push out and get out that caliper. Okay, I've got the brake fluid really topped up. I almost went over, but once I bleed everything, that'll go back down again. And then I also have the 2 little clips holding the brake and clutch line in place. So that all's all done. So that's about all I have time for this week. Well, that's a wrap for this video. Thanks for joining me. As you can see, some parts have started to come in. I've got the head gasket, some gaskets here, oil filter, a new thermostat housing, the box with pistons over here. Still waiting for sleeves and some other bearings, and then I can get to work on putting things back together. If you want to catch up on the previous video, I'll put a link to that one up in the top corner. And if you want to see where this whole Bugeye project started, I'll put a link to that video down in the bottom corner. If you enjoyed this one, please be sure to share it with your friends, leave a comment below, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget that little bell icon. Click on that, you'll get notified when the next video comes out. My name is Ian. This is the Econobox Garage. We'll see you next time.